Hey, welcome to the Basement Show. I'm Noah Watson.
I'm Jake Tooley.
And on this week we had over Seth Johnston and our other roommate Ben Levy dropped in just to talk about some high school stuff.
Sat around, told some stories, had some yuck 'em ups, and it wouldn't be us if we didn't start by talking about shit and piss.
The fact that you said yuck 'em ups makes me want to hit you in the head.
I'm living in a dream of poop stories.
I got one, but it's horrific.
Oh, I love horrific.
It's horrific.
That's
I try
what
to
this
have.
podcast's all about, buddy. You and me being horrific down here.
Excellent.
Was 16, and I was gonna fuck a girl in the ass. Right in the back of her car on a hill, right next to somebody's house. It was probably one of the.
Oh yeah,
I'm picturing like a heist group planning ahead. Like, all right, you, me, 6 o'clock on the hill.
No, it was weird.
Be in position.
She kept telling everybody that it's like, I'm gonna make him fuck me in the ass, you know. People. And it was weird, and yeah, she
was using peer pressure to get you to fuck her in the ass.
Oh, all for not just that, but everything. She was not cool. She was a couple years older than me, and she sucked. But I fucking we did that, and I had never fucked somebody's ass before, and she had never been fucked in the ass before. So
2 rookies.
Yeah. So
2 ass rookies.
I started, and then she immediately started screaming, and I pulled out, and there was shit and blood everywhere. And she started crying because she was so embarrassed. So we were like excited to try this new thing. Like, oh my god, look at us, we're like adults. And then it was like
that's what adults do.
It was like this insane fucking. It was like the end of Glass Ass. It was terrible. Jesus. There was just blood and shit and tears, and I just had to deal with it. Like I didn't I wasn't bleeding or embarrassed. She was embarrassed. I had to make her feel better with shit and blood all over me. You know,
like, no, it's fine. I like it. I like it. Like
I love shit and blood.
Yeah,
it's the best.
Now, okay.
I imagine also, since she told people were probably checking in.
How'd
the anal go, huh?
That's fucking up.
Yeah, I did not talk about it while she was there, but later I was like, dude, it did not go well. You know, it was not like the movies. It's not easy.
The movies, oh yeah, those are pros.
Yeah, dude.
The internet movies.
They make it seem like all the shit's in your back or something.
Surprisingly, they do a lot of prep work for those.
Yeah, dude. Nobody show that.
Knew. They don't show that on the thing when they're leaning over a storm
sticking
drain.
it in.
Yeah, dude. And it looks like it'll just go right in. You know?
It's a hole. It is a hole.
No,
it's right there.
Yeah, dude. It's like I didn't know that it was gonna.
That is an out-only hole.
Yeah, I didn't know it was gonna be difficult.
Now, the story is not over here. So you're in a car with covered in stuff.
Yeah, I just had to do what I could with
crying.
A tissue box.
A tissue
box? And then we left. I don't even remember the rest of that day.
Did you just go to the mall, or did you go home and take a shower, or what? What did you do after that, smelling like fucking shit?
I blacked out. Memory ends in me sitting across from her with her head in her hands while I've got shit. I'm looking down at all this shit and blood on
black.
me. Yeah, dude.
It's like the end of The Sopranos.
Yeah.
You died that night.
It was a mystery. It was like a
no to be continued or nothing.
Yeah, dude. Fuck a happy ending. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't even a happy middle.
Some hack shit.
It was not a happy at all story.
Yeah, it's all tension, no release. You know, it was terrible.
My God, Noah. I'm sorry. That's horrific.
I'm fine.
You're not. That's scary.
Cool.
We both put our hands on his knees like, do you need something?
It's good that you're talking
a warm
about
towel?
Hey, dude. Hey, you don't have one story involving shit?
Involving
somebody
shit.
Somebody else's shit? You see somebody's shit?
Yeah, I've seen other people's shit.
Yeah, okay.
I've seen my own.
Oh, I thought of one for after you.
Oh, no, you go.
Okay, I'll go. What do you think? So this is 8th grade wrestling, I think. And this is not my shit. This is embarrassment free for me. I'm gonna, I'm gonna redact this guy's name.
Name names, baby.
Okay, You ever look back and you're like, I wasn't a bully in high school, and then you think of something like, oh no, we all totally bullied that kid for sure. Okay, so 8th grade, I'd already been on the wrestling team for 3 years. We're like the big dogs of the middle school, you know,
the big dogs.
Yeah, we're the oldest kids on the team. And then this like the 7th grader, he moves in like halfway through the year, and I was, you know, like light heavyweight, so I weighed like 180, but the weight classes went like 180 to 210. So I was I was wrestling fat kids, even fatter than me, my entire wrestling career. So he came in, he was a heavyweight, like weighed, you know, 20 pounds more than me. So we were like wrestling partners and all that shit. And so like I didn't get to know him, but like I was, you know, he was around and he was quiet, new kid, not good at wrestling. You know, JV,
an easy target.
JV
for you and your group of bullies.
Yeah, apparently. We didn't like, you know, first day start, but sometimes you earn it a little bit.
Hey, they deserve it.
I'm victim blaming.
Look, some kids deserve to be bullied ruthlessly.
Here's the thing. If you, during a wrestling match, piss your pants, I think you deserve to be bullied.
Oh, no.
I'm kidding. But that's what he did.
Oh.
One, like his first match. He goes out there, you know, 2 minutes in, you're like, is his singlet wet?
Oh, this poor kid.
And you're like, what? And then, whatever. We didn't start bullying him then. That was a joke. We, you know,
you waited.
You're
nice.
We were all like,
considerate bullies.
What a bummer that is. Like we didn't talk about it. It was more of like a
everybody saw it. You didn't
don't fucking talk about this. Everyone saw it. We don't need to address it. But then 2 weeks later, against the same team, we add a different thing. He goes out there and just shits his pants.
Oh no!
And at that point, we were like, dude, go before the match.
Did you have a nickname for him? Like pee pee poo poo?
I'm trying to remember. I think we just made a bunch of shit jokes.
Shit boy? Something like that? Something
and not to his face. We didn't like make him cry, but like when he left the room,
you're not
people
assholes.
were for sure joking about it. And it's like, they wasn't full, like, go make him kill himself bullying, but like, we were for sure not cool to this kid and made a lot of poop jokes.
Dude, the thing is like at that point, it's not anything to do with anybody deserving anything. That is unstoppable. That's like nature, you know? That's like the tide.
God has chosen you.
It's just the end.
Dude, you're going to have to move schools. I'm sorry. It's the only path
it's
forward.
It's like you can't do that.
Dude, it's not personal.
You can't do that in front of a group of 14-year-old boys and expect them not to laugh at you.
Oh, man. I know.
And...
shit boy.
Yeah.
Okay, and the story isn't necessarily over. Because it kind of involves a mystery at the end. Because, like, later in the season, he gets body slammed. He was not a good wrestler. He really got his ass kicked every time he went out on the mat. And I don't know the actual answer to it, but he got body slammed and just let out a super loud fart.
God, this poor kid. What's he eating at home? You know, so what are his parents feeding him?
I don't know if he shit his pants that time. But based on history, everyone assumed he did.
Oh no!
And just wrote in history that he shit his pants twice, and it was just like.
Have you looked him up on Facebook?
No.
He is either jacked and super successful.
I think he works at a Burger King now.
He's killed himself.
Like not last time I went home, but like I think it was like the first time I went home
same
from college.
Town?
Yeah, still lives there.
You gotta go to the Burger King in the next town.
Yeah, because I went and got like my me and my parents some dinner or whatever, and then I like turned to hand up my card and I was like, ah,
shit boy,
Trevor, ah,
oh Trevor, that sounds like a Trevor.
What's your shit story?
Well, I got the P part reminded me of one I had in 8th grade. Mm-hmm. This is my coming of age P story from school. Yeah. Was I walked into the bathroom of my junior high, and I saw this kid, Lloyd, who was nobody's in the bathroom, just Lloyd, and he's standing on the sink. He has a foot on each sink.
Hell yeah, dude!
And what he has done is he has jimmied So Lloyd was probably bullied, all right? I think Lloyd would... I don't think school was, like, easy for him, you know? Yeah. I don't know any specifics, but yeah, it's Lloyd.
Lloyd is not a child's name. Lloyd is like an engineer who owns his own brake shop. Yeah. Like, that's not a kid's name.
Yeah. And what he had done is Jimmy'd opened the hand soap dispenser. And he was standing on the sinks so that he could pee into the hand soap. Okay. And so this was not something he told people. No. I never heard anybody say anything, and I also didn't tell anybody. I just like backed out of the bathroom. Yeah. I don't think he knew I saw him, but I was just like, I remembered that for my entire life because I was like, dude, this kid is awesome. I mean, I hope he was getting bullied, and that was him getting his revenge in a weird way.
Dude, if he wasn't, then that kid that's comedy. That's a legend. That's the funniest shit.
He's a legend.
I like how you didn't tell him, but you just like walked to your locker, like to the kid next to you, like, do not wash your hands in the bee bathroom.
Well, I guess I'm kind of an accessory because I didn't tell anybody.
Yeah, you could have told everybody, hey,
I could have just said, you know what?
Hot water.
Don't wash your hands in this bathroom for a while. Well, it's probably all bathrooms.
Who's to say it's just that bathroom?
I don't even remember not washing my hands after that. Right? I don't think I took any action. I think I just saw it. Like, I just resumed my life.
Like, hey, pee's sterile, you know.
Yeah, that's true. It's not gross.
It's so gross.
It's not.
It's not like he's going to get a disease or nothing.
Yeah.
But, that's
And then hilarious. I have another pee. I'm more of a pee guy.
Okay.
I peed my pants in high school on purpose.
Oh, yeah, you got the...
Yeah, I talked about this. But what actually happened was he was like kind of a friend, and I just jokingly asked to be his campaign manager. He was running for student body treasurer.
Oh, yeah.
And so all I had to do was introduce him. You know, they had the one day, the assembly, all the candidates would make like a 5-minute speech or whatever. And so I said, if you vote for him, I'll pee my pants. And people laughed. And I introduced him. He gave a speech about, I don't even know what a student treasurer says they're going to do. And so he won easily. And people were so psyched to see me pee my pants that like it was like the hottest thing in school. Right? And this was my senior year.
A lot of buildup.
Yeah. And, the student newspaper helped me organize it. They organized to have... So they videotaped it.
Local student, pees pants.
And none of us thought this was going to be... Like, how am I going to get in trouble? It's just someone peeing their pants. Yeah. Like, what's the harm?
It's the Airbud rule. It's like, there's no rule that says I can't pee my pants.
Right. Well, that's in my bit. Oh, you didn't know that? Oh, okay. But, so... You know, everybody knows about it, and like all the student newspaper people set it up, spread the word, set up a camcorder on a tripod on top, and like film me, and like bunch of people gathered, including some teachers who would later deny that they had been there because they just wanted to see this shit, right? I remember them one of them was just walking by laughing on his way, like watching it and laughing. Yeah, and so I peed my pants. I brought like a pair of like old jeans to change into, and I peed them, and it was really hard. Like the crowd got restless, and because it's hard to pee like bladder shy, right?
Really practice.
But eventually, I did start peeing, and I just peed so much because I had drank liquid all morning to make sure I could do it. And then I just walked to the locker room, threw my pants away, showered, put on new pants. Went back to class.
They were doing that tunnel of like cheering you and slapping you on the ass.
Everybody was talking about it. And then the principal pulled me into his office. Oh no, assistant principal? I don't remember. And they were so mad.
Oh yeah.
So mad.
Made a mockery.
They said I wasn't going to be able to go to graduation.
What?
All this crazy stuff. Yeah. They were going to try to figure out how to punish me.
We don't even know how to punish you.
Yeah, that's what I say. It's like, there's no rule against pissing your own pants. But, so eventually, this is what's insane. They created a panel of, like, random people to decide what should happen to me. So, I had to go in. It was one morning before school. It was, like, at 7:30 in the morning. And they had me, and I just walk into this, like, meeting room. And I see, this is like a Senate hearing. It's like in a U-shaped tables, and it's just filled with people on all sides, with a chair at the end of it for me
made you stand in a circle.
Sit and answer questions. And it was like a couple teachers, the counselor, the maintenance man. I remember the maintenance man was there. I'm like, why is he in here?
He's well, because he had to clean it up.
No, he did. It was all in my pants. There was no mess. I was very sure of that.
Look, Jim really was worried that you were going to make a puddle, all right? You ruined
Yeah,
Jim's
he could
day.
have had to break out the mop, all right? He didn't, but he could have.
What a weird way to start your day at 7:30.
I know.
Just talking about some kid that pissed.
And I remember this is like such a 17-year-old thing to do, is I refused to apologize. All they wanted to do was have me say I was sorry.
Yeah.
And I was
Stand your ground.
and I said, I didn't hurt anybody. All right? I will not apologize.
Yeah.
I didn't break any rules. I didn't hurt anybody.
I love it.
Yeah.
And one counselor was like, well, you maybe broke a public indecency law. Or, urinating in
not like
public
you
or something.
showed
I was just like,
anybody your
okay, yeah, that is probably true. That is probably public urination. It
Yeah.
counts, I think, even if it's in your pants. I don't know.
I think most of the taboo about public urination is that your dick is out, though.
If it's in, who's to say?
Yeah, dude. Seems like you were super intact after doing this.
Yeah.
Like, did it not like shake you at all to piss in front of all these
You were
people?
that confident.
No,
huh?
I was ready for this moment.
In the moment, I'm
prepared.
picturing like an Inside Out style, like your brain's like, he wants us to do what? He wants us to piss. His pants are on. What do you mean? We're not in the bathroom. We can't piss right now.
Yeah, it definitely was like not happening.
You had to convince other parts of your brain. No. This is what we want.
And I didn't expect. I didn't see that part of it coming. I thought I would just be able to pee when I needed to pee, but I couldn't.
Yeah.
I did have to. I did like I closed my eyes and just like did like the waterfall stuff. Like imagine it being in water, and then it did start. And it is funny because I felt it start peeing before, and I still had my eyes closed, but the audience couldn't see it yet because it takes a few seconds to soak through your pants. Yeah. And I just heard somebody scream. Like, this girl just screamed, he's doing it. And then the place, they just went bananas.
I would love to
They
be
went
in that
crazy.
audience.
It was like the most exciting
I wish a kid
thing.
peed his pants in my school.
And so they did suspend me for 1 or 2 weeks. They suspended me from school. First of all, my mom's also is a teacher. She's not at the high school, but she's at the grade school, which is like just across like this field. So they called my mom, and she said she laughed, but she couldn't.
Hey Noah.
Yeah.
Did you see this new movie that's coming out? Everyone's talking about that. It's coming out this summer. It's called Shark Tooth.
No, I haven't.
You haven't?
No.
Oh, well, I mean, let me. I got an extended trailer right here. Let me show you.
All right.
James is just another high school kid. He goes to school, watches sports, and plays video games. He's no different than anybody else, except for one thing. James was born a little bit different. And this is his story.
It's another successful delivery doctor.
And I hold my baby.
Well, ma'am, I must tell you something first.
What is it?
Your son is healthy. Everything's normal, except...
Except what?
Well, I'm not quite sure how to say this, ma'am, but it seems that your son, where his middle teeth should be...
Oh, God.
He was born with one large shark tooth.
I don't want him.
You thought you had a rough time in high school.
Hey, what's up, Shark Tooth? I was at the aquarium last night. Your dad says hi.
Look, everybody, the walrus is missing a tusk.
Nobody loves you. Everybody thinks you're weird. Everybody's talking about it. You're weird, dude. And it's not just the tooth. Right? You're like a weird guy.
Today, class, we'll be learning about the mating patterns of tiger sharks.
You hear that, Shark Tooth? Maybe one day you'll fertilize a lady shark in her eggs.
Not with that speech impediment. Why are you laughing like that?
Fitting in isn't easy when your teeth don't fit in your mouth.
Shark Tooth, if you screw up one more time, I'm making you run and laugh.
I heard you can bite through a Pepsi can.
What's wrong, James?
Kids at school hate me because I have a shark tooth.
Oh, honey.
I hate my shark tooth.
Oh, God, I'm so sorry. I never remember you to be born with a shark tooth.
I can't I just be normal?
James, you will never be normal.
Oh.
It doesn't make you a loser. It means you're special. If your father could see you today, he'd be so proud of the shark-toothed man you're becoming.
I just wish Dad was here.
Oh, me too, honey. Oh, if only Indonesia had stronger shark poaching laws, he might still be.
What James is about to learn is that appearances aren't important to everybody.
Hi, James.
Oh, hi, Susie.
What are you doing under the bleachers by yourself?
Oh, they passed me the ball and it popped on my tooth. I'm hiding from Coach.
Oh, I'm so sorry. That sounds horrible. I heard those jerks being mean to you earlier. They suck.
Yeah, well, thanks, Susie. That actually means a lot coming from your straight, perfect teeth. Somebody as pretty and popular as the head cheerleader. I'm like, oh, wow.
Hey, my friend told me about this competition I think you might be great at.
Really?
It would totally impress me and win me over if you entered the contest.
No, are you serious?
I want to lick your tooth.
Little did James know he'd been training for this contest his entire life.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 4th annual Corn on the Cob Eating Contest.
One man's shark tooth is that same man's leg up in a corn eating contest.
It all comes down to this. It's James Sharktooth Jones versus the champion Brad Smith. Nobody can eat me out when it comes to starches.
We'll see about that, Brad.
Who can eat the most corn fast? Contestant, commence, Cobb eats.
Let's go!
Go, James. I believe in you.
That's my boy! Eat that corn, sweetie!
Come on, Brad, eat faster. Sharktooth is whooping your human teeth by 10 now.
This summer comes the movie that broke Sundance's heart. Recommended by 4 out of 5 marine dentists.
Oh, James, you did it.
No, Susie. Sharktooth did it.
Director Joe Tootson brings to you on 75mm film. Sharktooth. Coming Shark Week 2020. Sharktooth. Narrated by the Arkham Knight.
Sharktooth!
All right, what did you think of that?
I would have rather sucked your shit through a straw.
So you did like it?
I would have rather eaten your shit with a spork.
I'll take that as that you liked it.
Hey, now that shit's over, we got Ben Levy joining the conversation now, and we talk about kids and teachers.
Let's go.
Dude, the act of pissing in front of a bunch of people, it sounds like spiritually liberating, you know?
It probably was.
Yeah.
Especially because I was a pretty quiet kid.
Yeah, dude.
I had like my one or two kind of dork friends. You know, we weren't like we weren't picked on or anything, but we were just like off to the side of everything. Yeah. I went to one party in my entire high school life. Yeah. I only got invited to one party, which I went to.
Before or after the peak? Did you get invited?
It was after.
You got invited because of the peak?
No, it was a little before that because it was a New Year's Eve party.
Gotcha.
And this was like towards the end of the school year.
Weird time to have an election, by the way. It seems like they would have that at the beginning.
Maybe I'm getting the timeline confused.
I'm picturing like a group of jocks, like when they heard about like that you're gonna do it, like, man, the confidence of that, like they're jealous of you, like. Wow, I could never bring myself.
I did get because of this. Yeah,
we're talking
because of this. I did get voted most likely to be a movie star.
What? Because of that?
I'm in the yearbook.
Smoke?
No.
What are you doing?
I'll smoke.
Smoke a joint? Do you smoke?
I do, but I'm not going to. I mean, I don't.
Okay.
I mean, I'm not supposed to.
I can say that.
Were you a narc?
Yeah. Actually, I'm.
I thought you
the
peed
police
in
department.
school and shit. I thought you broke the rules.
Yeah,
So,
dude.
So much peer pressure here.
Yeah. It's crazy that you said that because our only listeners is your job. You know, they're the only people
I
who
do.
listen
I mean,
to
no.
this shit.
I panicked.
Never mind.
Publicly,
your
no.
stocks just went down 4%.
You go, only when I'm drunk. I mean, oh, fuck.
And I
only
remember
when I'm fucking with hookers. That's the only time.
I only do it when I'm doing coke. So and I had to go around with these other kids that got in trouble and pick up trash around town for like 2 weeks. They were real. They were thugs. They were like
my pants.
No, they were all like they were real criminal kids.
I like in
graffiti.
the bit when you say they were a hard 12.
They were a hard 12. Yeah, they were all much younger than me. But they were like, they thought I was they like all made fun of me.
Of course.
Because they knew what I was in for.
Yeah.
Right? They all know, like this kid broke some kid's jaw.
Yeah.
This kid, slashed a teacher's tires.
This kid peed in a soap dispenser.
That's Lloyd over there.
Lloyd's here.
Dude, I knew a kid in junior high who took a shit on a desk in a classroom.
Tell this
Oh,
dude.
yeah.
Fuck
I don't know
dude.
all the details, but he was like one of those kids who like...
I think you just told all the details.
That is basically it.
Dude, that was like Cormac McCarthy
But you know,
shit.
like,
I
every-
know the whole story. That was insane.
Every school's got like that kid who always pulls the fire alarm, and this was that kid.
Yeah.
It was Taylor Morrison. I remember one time he pulled the fire alarm and the ink got on his arm, and his sister went to the school, and he tried to rub the ink on her arm so she would get in trouble for it.
What a dick.
Damn.
What? You're coming down with me, sis.
Yeah. But
I didn't know ink exploded. That makes sense if people are pulling the fire alarms.
Yeah, dude. That was like the best times in school though, was just watching someone fuck with a teacher like, successfully.
Yeah.
Like my fucking one of my favorite moments was I was in foods class in like 8th grade, and this kid, our teacher was like yelling at us, and he would always go back and forth with her. And then one time she goes into like the little pantry closet, and he just locked her in there.
Yeah,
like in the middle of her being. And I don't know, it sounds so simple, but like in the middle of her being angry, like most kids like kind of panic and they're like, "Oh, I'm in trouble," but he's just like.
I was always
locked it, and then she was like banging on the door. It was like we lost it. It was like the funnest.
I was always so fucking jealous of those kids who just didn't give a fuck and they just did insane shit just to do it. You know,
Yeah.
I used to want to be one of them.
Awesome.
Because I got a
cool.
lot of detentions in junior high.
Yeah,
like I remember my mom saved all of them, and like
What do you mean she saved all of it?
like in high school or whatever, people kind of chill out and like you start doing it. You realize like, I can just get fucked up outside of school and then just come here.
I don't gotta take it out of the teacher.
Yeah.
But it's like recreation in junior high. You're like, this is what we do. We
Yeah,
get
dude.
detentions. And, like, I remember I
nothing better
when
to
I
do
Throwing
after
scissors at the ceiling and shit.
Yeah,
dude.
pencils. See how many
Oh,
get
that's a
stuck in there?
classic. Would you do tacks? We got really good at. This kid was really good at making darts out of tacks and straws and pencils.
Oh,
and then you could throw them so far, so we would just throw them like all the way down the hall and stick them in the wall.
Dude, we used to make
It's so fun.
crossbows. We used to take pens and like you know how you can
Middle
empty
school
all the,
MacGyver?
you can empty all the shit out of them, so you just have the plastic tube. And then we would take tape and make like a cross with the two of them. And then through one of them you put a rubber band. Through the other one you put just the inside of a pen. Just like the
I want to do this
and
right
then
now.
you feed it in there and then you pull it with the rubber band and you just boom.
How neglectful were these teachers? Where were the teachers when you were doing
Well, they got like 30 kids in the class. They're all stressed
But
out.
it's the same thing.
They don't get paid anything.
It's a microcosm of prison because like you put no, it is because like people in prison get super creative with shit. It's like we put a bunch of people in a place they don't want their force to be. They're gonna just
at
like
the same time, like same with like prison guards that just like openly let people make what like. You are in charge of 30 people.
Right.
I can probably see if Ben over there is in the corner testing out his new crossbow. Like,
that's true.
what is this teacher doing?
Dude, but also it's like
They don't get paid enough.
I guess it's hard when because like I wasn't. There was some
Are
kids.
you running for senator?
That's my platform.
There were kids though, like who had nothing to lose, and those are the kids that the teachers were scared of because it's like kids who have a fucked up enough home life that they don't care about getting in trouble. And
They would rather stay after school.
So they'll just. It's like the scene where John Bender's like, "Do you want another detention?"
detention?
Yes.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
like those kids, and like I wasn't. I tried to be. I remember when I started like showing up in detention a lot. The little acts of defiance that I thought were so cool are so like ridiculous thinking back. Yeah. Like, I remember we were all supposed to be quiet one time, and I like went up to go throw something away, and I just like crinkled my paper a bunch.
Yeah.
At the time,
like
Che
this.
Guevara,
I remember those
like-
moments. Being loud when you're not
Yeah.
like get like if you're like in reading time or whatever, like and you just like crack a joke and you're just giggling and that like.
Yeah. Dude, the funniest, hands down funniest one of these, the time I laughed the hardest was in Hebrew school, because my dad made us go to Hebrew school every Sunday until I was 13.
Yeah.
And then
Not even
it was
Jewish.
just like this, like, but it was just like this musty place, and there was one of these teachers who was like a cartoon, like, boring old Jewish guy. Like, he just smelled like matzo balls. He was like overweight. And he would just like, it was ridiculous. He would just like read monotone, and like we would sit in this little this little
like
quieter area, and it was just like the class is only like 4 people, because there was like and like me and this other ginger
Not too many
kid.
Jews in
We were like
the
11.
suburbs of Chicago.
Yeah, we were like 11, and like while he was up there and we were just sitting kind of like the 3 of us were sitting back in these like chairs, he just started meowing. When
that's
the
a good
teacher was
one.
looking down, but the old guy got so mad, and it was just like,
of course
and then,
he did.
and
He was trying to
like,
teach you.
He was like trying to like reprimand us, and he just kept like meowing every time, but he didn't see it. And then
who's doing that?
We were like crawling under the chairs and shit.
I love that. My version of that is when I was in high school, a bunch of just the disruptive kids, we all ended up in the same English class somehow. Probably on I don't know, maybe they're trying to contain us or something. And they had a first-year teacher who was really heart of gold, wanted to teach for the right reasons, and she quit teaching by the end of the year. We like broke her in half, and it was so bad. We would do this thing. Okay, this is one of the all-time great things. Like
she came in
when
like
she would
Hillary
take a
Swank.
step, we would make a fart noise with her mouth. And in time with all her steps, and when she'd sit down, we'd do like a big one.
Yeah,
and we would all just be dying. Falling out of our desk. It was like the funniest. It's like the hardest I've ever laughed. And she quit teaching.
Why do these children hate me?
She was like, I'm trying to help.
Yeah, because it's a very precarious balance, like where the teacher has control, and like have you ever been in a classroom where you just feel it tip, and then suddenly there's like, enough kids fucking around that they're just and you can see the realization on their face. They're just like, oh, it's 30.
Especially a substitute teacher. He's
oh
just
yeah.
like,
Well,
you're only here for a day.
Yeah,
we're gonna fuck with you,
dude. Yeah, fucking me and a friend in middle school. I don't remember what I did, but the substitute teacher...
Sounds like it was just you and you're blaming an imaginary friend.
No. Her name was Daisy, and I don't remember everything that happened, but the substitute started crying because she jumped up on all the desks, and she started running in a circle around the room screaming in Spanish, and it was just insane. It was a weird thing.
I'm going.
Man.
Yeah, dude.
That's fun. I had another one when I was in 4th or 5th grade. I don't remember, but I would be disruptive, and so I would always get moved to sit in the front, like right next to the teacher, which is the best spot because you can have the most influence.
Everyone sees you
on the class.
Yeah, you have an audience.
Yeah, now I'm like on the stage basically, and like right next to the teacher, and she was reading. Poor Miss Heinrich, and like I was always we had like these hoagies from the cafeteria that day, like these like long sandwiches. And so when she would read, I was like talking. I was talking with the sandwich next to her, and it felt so badass. But it was like, it was murdering. It was like one of the funniest things.
That sounds like a great. I would laugh at that now.
Yeah, it's just like, and then when she was like saying it to me, I would do it, and I would put it down really quick for a while.
Yeah.
When she'd like look over at me, and then she'd go back, and I'd lift the sandwich back up, and people would start laughing again. Good times.
The hardest I was never confident enough to like really fuck with teachers.
Yeah.
But I would just blatantly lie to them with a lie that the whole class knew was not. And then I would, like, in 8th grade, it was like the 2nd week of school. Me and my buddy Quentin convinced our English teacher, like our like advanced, like we were in an advanced class, so she was just like, all right, these are the smart kids. These kids aren't gonna fuck around. And then for whatever reason, we just convinced her that the boys' bathroom, because it was a brand new school, first year in the school, and that the boys' bathroom had a couch in it. And it was just as simple as just being like, how's everybody doing? Like, beginning class, and I was just like, I just said, not even to her, I just said it loud enough that she'd hear it and be like, man, that couch in the bathroom is super cool, huh? And then Quinn was like, yeah.
Subtle inception shit.
Yeah, I just planted the idea. And then she was like, wait, what? And then she like felt like she was like intervening, and like then she was kind of like went on a feminist rant of like, well, why doesn't the girls' bathroom have a couch? And I was just like, I don't know, that's kind of fucked up, but
girls' bathrooms are always nicer.
And like, but I did the whole, but you know how boys are always in line waiting. And it's nice to have a seat while we're waiting for the bathroom, which is just. And she's like, oh, that does sound nice. And then like kind of dropped it, and then the next couple of days just
she
kept
got caught in
bringing
the
it up.
boys' bathroom. Got fired.
And then at one point she comes back in, apparently, and she, like a knowing like I'd found out that you were lying type of vibe, and she was like, I brought it up to the vice principal, and it turns out there is no couch in the boys' bathroom. So I like embarrassed her in front of her boss.
Nice.
And she was like, she like brought it up as an issue. She's like,
revolution,
baby. What's up with the the boys having a couch and not the girl? And he was like, what the fuck are you talking about? And then she came in, hated me for the rest of the year. Like split me and my friend Quentin up. He was like, all right, you sit over there, you sit in the back. like just like you are my enemy now.
Yeah.
And her name was, one letter off from my name. Let's just put it that way. So like,
well, who's fucking? She's gonna hear
last
it.
name. So like, it was like, she like people might as well been calling her Mrs. Tooley, and she hated that we were so like similar in name. She just hated every part about me. It was so fun.
Yeah, because you embarrassed her.
I sure did.
She carries that.
She's
dude, a kid threw a stink bomb in the office.
Ooh, stink bombs! Bring them
this
back.
This was all in junior high. All the fun shit.
Where are those gone? Where are stink bombs? I haven't heard about a stink bomb.
By the time we got to high school, everyone was scared. They had like cops, and I went to like a Columbine high school. Like, sounds kind of fucked up. Like it never happened, but it was. I feel like schools like that one should be considered at risk.
It had all the characteristics of a school shooting.
Because when a high school is big enough, like when there's like thousands of people per grade, like there's just no one can pay attention to all those kids. There are pockets of people who just walk around that school who no one knows what the fuck they're thinking or up to.
You can disappear. That's what you did with your trench coat.
Yeah. Dude, the worst though was like the classes when you fuck around, but you like the teacher, and like you feel like they're disappointed. Like that was for me like what it was like in high school, because at that point in my life, all my shit was focused on like painting, drawing, like art. Yeah. And that was the thing I was supposed to be like doing, and I would draw in all my other classes from bell to bell. Yeah. And that's when I would draw shit. But when I was in art class, I would just be with all my art friends, and I'd be like not doing anything. Like I'd go a whole period and like not get. And he would just talk to me and be like, kind of like in nicer words, like, "What the fuck are you doing?" This is your time to. And he also like subtly like endorsed mushrooms to us. Like
cool.
I think it was like it was someone talking to like showed him like a painting, and like all our paintings had mushrooms in it. That's what was cool when we were 16. And so like most teachers I remember being very strict about like drug references. Like they found drug references that was bad. But he was just like, oh yeah, and like saying some hippie shit was just like, yeah, I like the mushrooms, and like talking about what they, and it just went into like talking about tripping, and like I have one of his drawings, and it's just like a melty clouds with sunflowers, like colored pencil drawings.
It's psychedelic art.
Steve Jones.
Cool teacher.
He drew that.
Dude, he made this.
They really like save the whole thing.
Dude, he made this giant metal sculpture. And then like it was just these giant hunks of metal, and he had to like weld this giant part together, and he had just had like a huge fucking blowtorch, like flamethrower thing. And I just remember this like 15-year-old Asian girl taking his class who was like an art prodigy, him just handing her this giant fucking torch and watching her just like heat up a giant chunk of metal until it was red. And I was like, dude, he didn't ask if he could like, he didn't like, he was just like,
the principal did not know that.
And then he just ended up like it hung in some like plaza, but it was like a hanging metal sculpture. But,
Dude, my art teachers sucked so bad at my school because my school just didn't give a fuck.
Really, the art teachers in Whiteland.
Exactly. My middle of Indiana school did not have good art, believe it or not. He was like a drawing one and like photography teacher named Mr. Vanderveen, and he didn't know we were doing it, but me and my friend Joey, who sat next to me, it was first period. We were tired. And we fucking hated this guy. And we were just, I think we were seniors or something, like we were just taking a blow-off photography class just for an art credit. And every time he would walk, Joey, not loud enough that anybody else could hear, but just for me, would just go, ba-doo, 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 ba-doo. And then he was like, doesn't he look like a fucking dildo? Like he just kept leaning over and just fucking, he would just, like, meaner than I ever was, just roasting Mr. And we just fucking hated that guy so much. And he was just, just a guy trying to teach kids about cameras. He took us on like the best field trips I ever went on, but we still like the whole field trip. We were like, fuck this guy.
Yeah, I know.
But this is cool, huh? Like, we were like at a dope art museum.
Yeah.
Dude. My middle school art teacher was the coolest fucking lady, Miss Leonard. Her husband was a tattoo artist, and he used to come in and spray paint giant murals in front of us and shit. And she like got me into punk music.
Dope.
She used to like swear during class, and I had one friend she didn't like, you know. So he would try to sneak in, because all of my friends were in the same art period except for him. So he would ask to go to the bathroom and try to sneak into ours. And so it'd be this thing where he was like hiding from her, but still trying to hang out and shit. And the moment she realized she was in there, she would roll up a giant piece of paper and just start beating him over the head with it until he left the class, dude. Yeah, dude, she was the best.
Yeah, let's bring back stink bombs and teachers hitting
That
kids.
was the thing about teachers, though. Is like there was the bad ones, but like teachers and the good teachers were like legends. Dude, I remember being kind of like starstruck. Like there was a teacher, and I never took his class, but he was just like, and like everyone like they get these. It's almost creepy, like weird cult, like especially when it's like young dudes. Like one of my favorite teachers from high school, Mr. Desmond, my English teacher, ended up getting caught sending like love letters to a 15-year-old.
There was always that.
We had a few of those.
But it sucked because he was so like cool. Like he thought my drawings were dope, and like instead of yelling at me, he would like put them up on the wall, and he was just like a jovial like family dude, and just like fucked.
Yeah,
it's fucked up.
I remember we had a teacher who was always kind of like physically abusive to students.
Yeah, cool.
And then probably not. I don't know. Maybe like 5 years ago, he was on the news. He got like some kid finally told their parents, and I would like remembered all of it, and I was like, oh god. And so now he's like, he can't teach anymore as a security guard somewhere. And I was like, oh my god, yeah, he was always doing that.
Yeah, dude.
It's so weird. It lasted a long time.
He was always doing that.
My fucking Chinese teacher was one of my favorite teachers, but she was also one of the strictest teachers I ever had.
What subject did they teach?
Chinese.
Oh, okay.
He thought he was just
I had this Asian
bringing up the racist teacher for no reason.
I had this
my Chinese teacher,
Asian history teacher.
But
teach Spanish. It was weird.
But she just like the way they teach in China is like way different. Like they got way less boundaries. So her whole thing was like her feeling like she should be able to hit us, but knowing that she's not allowed to. So that was like the energy.
A teacher who's holding back.
It's not her way. Her way is to smack, but like.
There's another teacher who could constantly hold their back. No, don't do it, Mrs. Lee.
And she would always say just like weird shit. Like she would say like, "I will cut your head off," and then she like make this sound.
Nice.
And
she
then
did that with her hands.
Silo, which means death. Yeah. Like just it was all just like a little bit over the line. So, like, she never really crossed it.
Yeah, she's my favorite teacher. She used to threaten us constantly.
Dude, I
respected her.
I had sexual fantasies. She was an old Chinese.
I
did. I'm gonna be honest. For the pod,
there was always
as long as I'm being recorded for public consumption, let's talk about fucking old people.
Classic.
Cover that shit up, dude.
It's funny because you guys, I had my high school reunion and I went back to it, and it was like remarkably the same exact shit happened. Yeah. I left through a side door. First of all, we just had it at a bar, at the dive bar, the one bar that's in our town. There's one bar, that's where we had it, and it's kind of like it's kind of like a redneck bar, and so we're in there, and then pretty soon I start hearing like this, he's gonna beat you up. Like this guy's telling everybody he's gonna beat you up, and I was like, why? They're like, oh, because you made fun of his friend. And I'm like, no, I didn't. I said hi to his friend, but for whatever reason, there was some violation that I didn't know about. And it's like, I was like, he just wants to beat somebody.
Yeah, clearly.
And I think so. And then I'm there with my friend Angel, who is my best friend, and he was like just making fun of me. He just thought it was hilarious. He's like, he's not gonna do anything. Yeah. I'm like, yes, he is. He fights people. He's like, he's one of those people who goes around fighting people, he's spreading the word. He's like a huge. bigger than me, like no sleeves, kind of like dude. And so I slipped out the side door early and just went back to my parents' house. I'm like, oh, this is just like high school. Like, I'm just afraid of...
The shitty part is he probably he's like, all right, the high school reunion's tonight. I'm gonna fight somebody. And like you just said hi to his friend. He's like, Seth is it.
He's picking on him, and I was just like, what are you?
Yeah, he was just ready. He was training for his high school reunion.
He was getting like drunker and drunker, and he'd come up to me before. He's like, why are you picking on my friend? And I was like, what? He's like, yeah, you're picking on him. I was like, I just said hi.
Yeah.
He's like, yeah, right. I was like, what is this? And then he like goes back and he's drinking more. Like he's getting himself drunk enough to where he can like start swinging his fists at me.
Swinging for no reason.
So I'm like, all right. I'm not say goodbye to nobody. I just slip out the side.
I was friends with that kid in high school. Dude, but one of my closest friends. I don't know why, he's just violent. Like, dude, he went to a bowling alley, and since we were like 14 grown-ass men have tried to fight him and shit, he got punched in the stomach for riding his skateboard on the sidewalk when he was in middle school by like a grown-ass man, and fucking like... Yeah, dude, he went to a bowling alley the other night.
The world.
Yeah, dude, but the thing is he asked for it most of the time.
Yeah,
he got in a traffic jam and a guy grabbed him by the hair and started slamming his head on the fucking thing.
I have friends like this too. Oh, go ahead.
Fights people all the time and shit, and he'll just find reason. Dude, one time he threw a bag of dog shit at somebody's sliding glass door. Nice. Right, and so they saw him do it because it's glass. You know, they were just on the other side of it, and so they opened the door and they said, "Why the fuck would you do that?" And he just goes, "Wasn't me." He's like, "Wasn't me." And he like bought into his own shit so much. By the end, we were walking away, and he goes, "Can you believe that fucking guy?"
Yes, exactly. They're always like this. It's never them. They just keep getting in these scenarios over and over again that don't happen to anybody else, but it's always their fault.
Dude, we would get caught breaking into cars to steal cigarettes and shit, and he goes, "Dude, this fucking asshole can't mind his own business." Like, what do you think, in the neighborhood fucking watch, dude? Like,
you're breaking into my car.
Yeah, dude.
We used to do that too, but very briefly. They called it car hopping.
Yeah, dude, I love that shit.
And you just pull the handles, or like you look for the alarm light, and then one time we would take cigarettes, and then one time we found like a Nintendo DS.
Yeah, dude.
And I took it.
Wads of cash.
And then I went home, and like I was like 15, so I started playing on the DS, and then I saw it's like Andy.
Oh, you were sad because it was
from Toy Story.
Yeah,
but it was just like this little kid's DS who had already had his account, and I just got overwhelmed with
good, you learned. That's good. You felt
Andy doesn't have a dude. Andy probably loved that DS. So
you know what the bummer is?
All super far in games when he hadn't beat him yet, and he's like so close.
I'm pretty bummed out about that story.
And he's like 42.
Yeah, I'm pretty bummed out because my DS got stolen out of my van.
Oh man!
Last year.
You live with Andy now because you're paying your price.
I'm just gonna picture you when I think about that now.
Yep.
Oh god, sad.
This is from earlier when we were talking about. There was a fucking kid in my school that he got suspended or maybe even expelled because there was one day, apparently the story goes, he had a math test that he did not study for, and he was an idiot, and he just didn't want to take this math test. He really did not. It was a big day test, whatever. And so he went into the bathroom with a Sharpie and wrote on one of the stall walls a bomb threat for the exact same time as that test. Class.
Classic.
Which was like classic old stuff, but like this is also like 2014, so like
real
people are like taking bomb threats differently these days.
SWAT team crashes through the window.
As soon as somebody sees it, they report it, and then there was like a good little bit where we legitimately thought there was a bomb threat.
Yeah.
And then then they checked the cameras, and we're like, oh no, that was just fucking Bryce.
Check the cameras. Kids are always getting caught. There's no masterminds besides Lloyd.
That guy still works at McDonald's.
Dude, no one knows.
Everybody's at a fast food restaurant.
No one knows a kid who stole Guy Fieri's car
Oh yeah, that's a crazy story.
Like broke into the dealership on like a wire, like James Bond. Like,
and he never bragged about this, and word got out.
Well, he's going on a podcast
caught.
now.
He got caught.
Oh, he got caught.
But like, just the nerve of a fucking high school age kid to go fucking spider down into a fucking dealership and steal guy fees.
Audacity.
That's the thing. Is like it's a bummer. Just it's really the luck of the draw as to where you're born and who you're where you live. But like me and Noah, we're all the same age, and he just had this crazy mystical California upbringing where the craziest possible shit is going on.
What I didn't think about every time Noah would tell stories about growing up and shit, and then I went and visited, and it's like I didn't know about all the palm trees and sharks and salt water and like you're fucking.
To us that's just like you're growing up in a fucking Hollywood movie.
You'd think it'd be super chill.
Yeah,
you got the beach and shit. Yeah. Like what's the problem?
They have the most mayhem I've ever heard in a child. Like no, like legitimately, and this is an issue on this podcast, is that sometimes everyone's got a story to tell, and we have to be like, Noah, you clearly need to go last. You are the closer. You're the closer. Like, we are not going to top any of these stories you tell, dude. He's telling, like, a high-speed chase in the 11th grade
That's like,
story.
who else is like that is kids from New Orleans.
Yeah.
The other thing
or like Florida.
Or like if you grew up in New York, like those people.
Got all this crazy.
One of the things I love about Noah's stories, though, is that there's always the possibility it's going to end with, he's dead now.
Yeah, always.
Like, most people when they tell stories, it's like some weird,
he's dead, he's in jail.
Yeah, my wife's from Coney Island in Brooklyn, New York, and her stories are
always closer.
Insane. Mine are just like weird kind of redneck stories.
Yeah, that's kind of how mine is.
But like one thing we used to do that I just remembered the other day was my friend had a 4-wheeler and we found a big scrap of carpet. Mm-hmm. And so we tied a rope from the carpet to the 4-wheeler, and we would take turns, and one of us would lay on the carpet and hold onto the rope, and he would just drive the 4-wheeler around really fast through fields. And we would just ride,
like wakeboarding on land.
Yeah, but we would have to lay down, and you would just lay down and hold onto the rope, and we would all take turns riding on it. Like it was like the ride.
You didn't get cut up or nothing?
You would be all sore the next day. It hurt pretty bad. Go over rocks and shit.
Call that corn tubing.
Corn tubing. Yeah, and then we go get corn dogged at work. There at the school the next day. Yeah, but mine are all like that, but hers are like more just a higher level of danger.
Yeah, right.
Like,
there's no danger where I
mine were all just kind of like innocent.
You were close enough to a big city though.
Yeah.
That you had you went to a bigger school you weren't like an inner city kid.
Yeah.
But like you still got the overflow from that. Like mine was just like we thought we were a big school and we had 500 in our graduating class. Like it wasn't that big.
Yeah. But I think I had I want to say 1,400 in my graduating class.
Damn.
We had 98.
That's nice and sweet. Graduation, you're not there too long.
But where my parents, my mom had 12 kids in her high school. My family comes from that kind of stuff. So
have they always lived in Oregon?
Yeah, my family been in Oregon for a really long time.
Okay.
Way back. And so to the rest of my family, I was always the city kid.
Okay.
Because my school had 300 something people in it.
You had almost 100 seniors.
Yeah. Yeah, they're like, what?
Damn.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I remember one time, my brother, we had an inflatable pool, and this is when me and my brother, I was probably 10 and he was 13, and he inflated it, and we had a big retention pond behind our house, and he just went out in the boat and people he was just canoeing in the inflatable pool, and my mom came outside on the deck. She was so mad. She was yelling at him, and he was just stuck in the middle of the thing because he didn't really bring an oar, and he was just he was you can't get me out here.
What are you gonna do?
Yeah, what are you gonna do?
I'll either drown or
starve to death. We had one time I was at my friend's house, and he had a pool table in his garage, and he said, I guess his older brother had poked a hole in the wall with a pool stick. So he's like, yeah, we can do this in here. It's fun. So we started just poking all these holes in the wall with pool cues. And we started throwing them across spears. And we destroyed this room. We destroyed their garage. It was filled with holes all over all the walls. And his mom walks in.
Really fun,
and she goes, what are you doing? And he goes, oh no, it's cool. Tony does it. Yeah. But he had poked one little hole and was tee-hee.
Yeah.
That nobody noticed.
Now it's Swiss cheese.
And so she goes, Seth, get in the car. And she just drove me home in complete silence. and then went back and I assume just beat this kid. That same kid, he had a pet iguana. They didn't take care of their animals. There's a lot of animal abuse out in the country, right? And a lot of pets that are not being taken care of very well. And so he had a stressed out parrot that had plucked himself. He just looked like a rotisserie chicken, but had a parrot head. He was just a fucking stressed out bird. And then he also had an iguana that had so much rage that it would escape and beat his ass. His iguana beat him up.
How big is the iguana?
They're like
iguanas are mean.
And he would chase it, trying to catch it.
Oh my God.
He's a kid. And the iguana would whip him
with his
tail.
The tail whip.
And he had welts across his shins. And he's like, oh yeah, that's from my fucking iguana got out. The fucking iguana got out.
Dude, iguanas are mean. They're like, they don't make good pets. And
you're Mr. Reptile. You don't.
Yeah, you know a lot about reptiles.
Yeah, okay.
I think I know a lot about animals in
2
general.
months ago, we were just all, doing whatever, and I get a text from Ben. It's like, can I get what did you want to get? An anaconda?
No, I wasn't going to get
He's like, can I get a snake? And I was like, I get weirded out by spiders and snakes.
I think snakes are cool. I don't like spiders. I wouldn't get a pet spider.
You would get a tarantula.
But the thing is, I know a lot about animals, but that doesn't mean I'm the best at taking care of them.
Because
last time I got a snake, I got a corn snake, and I was so excited for months before. I like the research part of it.
Yeah.
And then when it actually comes down to it, the snake shit on me once, and then I was kind of like, oh yeah, this phase is over.
No, I got that text, and I was like, 1, I'm terrified of snakes. 2, you're not gonna take care of this.
You need this is.
I'm not going to get it. No, but the thing is, every time I just let it pass now.
Yeah. And I was like, even if you do feed it and take care of it and all that shit, it's going to get out. Inevitably, snakes are going to get out.
It's easier to get an animal that tells you when it wants to eat.
Yeah.
And just in me growing up, all our animals we ever had that couldn't tell you they were hungry starved to death.
Uh-huh. Seth is Dr.
It's pretty sad.
He talks to animals.
Even recently, my mom had some birds that didn't make it in her house.
Yeah, we had a lot of hermit crabs, and I was always like...
I can't share this on my Facebook when this comes out, by the way.
What?
No, don't. It's funny. Well, it's not funny. One time I got high, and I just confessed all the animals I killed to my wife. I got because I started feeling so bad.
Oh, no. Wait, did you Jeffrey Dahmer them, or just not feed them?
No, these were wild animals.
I for sure strangled them.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my brother went through a phase. He got a pellet gun, just started murdering robins with my neighbor. And the robins were good for the little mini ecosystem. It wasn't the right bird to kill.
Yeah, they're good.
And they had the little blue eggs.
I don't think I ever killed a bird. I'm not a monster. But moles, all kinds, a shrew.
Yeah, rodents.
Yeah. Anything I could give.
Squirrels, flying
Never
squirrels.
Squirrel. But man, yeah.
Kangaroos. All right, everybody. That's the episode. Thank you very much.
That was it.
That's all we got.
That's the whole thing.
Please don't expect more of us, because we can't bring anything more to the table.
It's over.
This is the last episode.
I'm done.
That being said, tune in next week. Follow me on Twitter @JakeToilet.
Also, follow Sam Whiteley on Twitter @McStank.
You want to say yours?
No, I'm going to plug everybody else's.
Plug your goddamn Twitter.
Follow me on Twitter @Noah_WTSON.
Nailed it.
Yes, I did.
I want to lick your tooth.
Oh, if only Indonesia had stronger shark poaching laws, he might still be with us.